Hi everyone, my name is Jinwan and for my part I'll be covering the topic about ghost nets. Without further ado, let's get started. What are ghost nets? Well, as the name says itself, they're fishing nets that behave like ghosts. They have nowhere to go but then they appear everywhere. So these ghost nets, or scientifically known as the abandoned or lost or discarded fishing gear, are basically any nets, long lines, fish traps, or fish aggregating devices that have been left or lost or discarded by the fishermen into the ocean. So I'm pretty sure some of us are familiar with ghost nets as we often see videos of animals, especially marine animals, trapped by these ghost nets. Some of them approach humans to try to free themselves from the net while the other might not be as lucky as that. Without help, these animals wouldn't be able to free themselves but rather helplessly wait for the death to arrive. They could die from, starvation or watch themselves being eaten alive by other animals. Either ways, they aren't good ways to die, right? Now, let's do a little bit of imagination work, alright? Maybe one day you're alone on an island, and as you wander around, you accidentally step on a bad trap. And just before you could scream of pain, your head caught up by a hanging rope out of nowhere. Imagination, remember? And the rope tightened as you try to free yourself. And now you wait. Wait for another human to appear and help you, or you wait for some wild animals to arrive and eat you. And that is how I think it would feel like to be trapped by one of these ghost nets. And do you know that every year about 650,000 of marine animals die in this way? Terrible, right? So, who is to blame? Well, it's pretty obvious. The only creature in this world that has the ability to create tools and use them to kill as much lives as they like just because they think they are on top of the food chain, it's human. We all know that. But what exactly are the things that they did that causes the ghost nets to end up drifting in the ocean? As human population continues to rise abruptly, the demand for food also rises greatly. To fulfill this increased demand, the fishing industry starts to come up with new methods or techniques that allows them to yield a greater catch every time they fish. And so right now I'll be talking about the main four fishing techniques that create ghost nets. I will only briefly talk about these fishing techniques as they are not the main focus today. The first one, gill nets. Gill nets are basically vertical panels of netting that hang from a line with regularly spaced floaters that hold the line on the surface of the water. It is usually found in lakes or rivers, though it can be sometimes seen in the ocean. The mesh size are designed to allow fish to get only their head through the netting but not their body. That is why it is called a gill net because it catches the fishes by trapping them in the gills. For prey, they are generally used in the open ocean to target dense schools of single-species midwater fish like tuna. In the process of catching fish, a type of fishing net called seine net is used, and like gill net, the top edge of the net is buoyed by floats and the bottom edge is held down by weights. However, rather than just weights, the bottom edge has another thing called the purse rings. A line known as purse line passes through all the rings and when pulled, draws the rings close to one another, thereby preventing the fish from swimming down to escape the net. Thirdly, fish aggregating devices or FAD. It is different from gill nets and prey as these devices are used not to catch but to attract fishes. This can be anything that floats, be it a man-made object or natural objects such as driftwoods. The logic behind this is fairly simple. Because fishes are naturally attracted to floating objects, and because these floating objects are usually seen as the refuge of juvenile fishes, the gathering of these small species in turn attracts larger predatory fishes, which are usually the targeted fishes like tuna. Lastly, among all four types of fishing methods we covered today, trolling is the easiest to understand. It is a method of fishing that involves pulling a fishing net through the water behind the boat. The net that is used for trolling is called a trawl, and usually trolling is done as midwater trolling or bottom trolling. Though it is the easiest thing to do, it causes the most damages to the seabed as the trawl destroys everything on its path, including the coral reefs. And talk about trolling, I need to show you an iconic scene from the Finding Nemo which exemplifies very well the concept of trolling. Shout out to the director of Finding Nemo and the YouTuber who created this clip. This is exactly how trolling works in the ocean. I'm pretty sure most of our hearts break when we first see this scene as a kid. This is the perfect example of what damage ghost nets could bring to the marine lives. Without the help of Dory and his dad, Nemo will for sure die under these circumstances, just like other trapped marine animals. Oh, poor Nemo. Coming back, so the reasons that cause the four fishing techniques to contribute to the prevalence of ghost nets are overfishing, poor gear maintenance, high cost of retrieval, or they simply throw their broken fishing gear into the ocean due to the poor access to disposal facilities. Plus, dumping the fishing gears into the ocean can be a really effective way to remove evidence if they are involved in illegal fishing activities. And to make things worse, the ghost nets actually created a phenomenon known as the ghost fishing. The ghost nets, when left abandoned, will first drift near the ocean surface. As it drifts, it accumulates all kinds of objects and fishes it encounters, and all of these add up to the weight of the fishing net until it is too heavy to stay afloat, it starts to sink. After sinking to the bottom of the ocean, as now the fishes struggle to escape, they slowly die from starvation or they die when the bottom dwellers start to feed on them. When the feeding is done, the weight on the fishing net got lighter and the fishing net starts to float to the surface of the water again, and this cycle repeats. And God knows the cycle will repeat for how many times, as the fishing nets are usually non-biodegradable. And the way to resolve this issue is fairly simple. Let's just stop eating fish. Problem solved. I'm just joking, obviously. Humans will not stop eating fish nor any other animals. That's a fact. So, if we can't stop the fishing industry, we should change the material we are using for fishing. Instead of synthetic non-biodegradable fishing nets like what we have been using for centuries, we should use the newly designed biodegradable fishing nets like the coconut fiber nets, or known as the koi nets. And in case we lose our nets during fishing, technologies like GPS tracking systems should be applied to retrieve those nets back. Fishermen now can attach a tag embedded with radio frequency identification chips to their fishing nets, and through this method, they can easily monitor the net's location and retrieve them back if they lost it. Thanks to the innovative efforts made worldwide, the abandoned fishing nets are now given a second life by recycling and transforming them into useful objects such as clothing, carpets, skateboards, and even sunglasses. Cool, huh? But ultimately, the best way to tackle the ghost nets issue is to not throw them into the ocean at the very first place. And that's the end of this topic. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.